Good evening, everybody. The Irish Demon here, back finally from the United States of America. What an absolutely awesome time I had over there, and I want to thank you all so much for being involved. Stay tuned in this channel and you will see some of those videos. Now, you might remember last year there was that horrifying attack on a parade in Waukesha. It was where a man drove a car into a big crowd of people. It was horrible. A number of people lost their lives, many people injured, and it was an absolutely terrible scenario all around. Now, this guy had a terrible history. In fact, just a couple of weeks beforehand, he was arrested for trying to run his ex-girlfriend down, and he was released on a $1,000 bond. And then a month later, this happens. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show the video of what happened. It's absolutely terrifying. We're going to switch over to court where he was appearing yesterday, and he was trying to act pro se, or pro per. And of course, he claimed that he was a sovereign citizen. Seems to be the easy get out of jail free card for people who don't want to take responsibility for their actions. So let's go over and have a look.
We are here today to address the motion that was filed by attorneys Perry and Keyes last week, the motion to withdraw. I do want to make a brief record that I met with the parties, the attorneys only at 12:30 today, just to go over what I would call some scheduling, housekeeping matters related to this case and the motion before the court. I don't believe I need to put any of the substance of that on the record unless there is a request from either of the parties. I do not intend to go over any of the substantive issues that are remaining in this case other than the motion to withdraw. That includes the various filings that the parties have made and any other open issues that we have at this time. I need to first address the issue with Mr. Brooks and the motion to withdraw. I do want to start out with you, Mr. Brooks, and ask you, is it your desire to represent yourself in this case?
It is. I would like to proceed in this matter prior persona, not pro se.
Say that last part again.
I would like to proceed in this matter in pro per, not pro se.
So all things said, the term pro se and pro per mean exactly pretty much the same thing. So pro per is short for the Latin term in propria persona, which means in their own person. Now this term is completely synonymous with the term pro se. Pro se meaning for oneself on one's own self's behalf. So ultimately they mean the exact same thing. It's like saying the yellow banana or the banana which is yellow. So I'd like to see what his angle of saying that he's going pro per versus pro se actually is. Now let's see if we can articulate that.
So you're going to have to tell me what you think that means.
It is me exercising my right to defend myself, to represent myself as a sovereign citizen. So essentially, this matter today would be me appearing by special appearance.
You have an absolute right to have an attorney represent you. It is protected not only by the Wisconsin Constitution, but the United States Constitution. Do you understand that?
I do understand my rights under the United States Constitution, yes.
Did you hear what I said?
And just so you guys know, like a lot of these guys, they just can't answer a simple question directly. Is your name Jimmy? Jimmy is the name that people sometimes call me and that I'm referred to as on legal documents. So your name's Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy is the name which has been given unto me. So your name's Jimmy then. Can you just answer the question?
Repeat it.
Do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you, what we call the right to counsel?
Under the Sixth Amendment, correct?
Under the Sixth Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and the Wisconsin Constitution as well. It's a well-established right that a criminal defendant has. Do you understand that?
I'm aware, yes.
Do you also understand that you have the right to represent yourself?
I'm aware of that as well.
I have before me a motion to withdraw by your attorneys with the sole basis that is listed that you want to represent yourself. Is that your understanding as well?
That isn't entirely how the issue came about. I think it's important for that to be on record.
I'm not asking you to divulge attorney-client privileged information. Do you understand that?
So essentially, what's the question?
Well, I want to make sure you understand you have these competing rights. It is recognized in our case law from the United States Supreme Court, the Wisconsin Supreme Court, that there are these competing rights: the right to counsel and the right to self-representation, essentially to be your own counsel. Do you understand these competing rights?
I am aware.
Do you understand, sir, that you can't have an attorney and exercise that right and also exercise the right of self-representation?
No, I don't understand that.
So you started off this hearing by saying you want to exercise this right to appear in persona today and act as a sovereign citizen. Sir, my concern here today is there's a request from your attorneys to withdraw from this case. Do you understand that's the request before me today?
I'm aware that they filed a motion to withdraw, yes.
And are you aware, let me back up. Have you seen that motion, sir, the written motion?
I have seen it.
Did they give you a copy, the paper copy?
I believe it was delivered to me in the jail.
Right. Do you have that in front of you today?
No, I do not.
Madam Clerk, why don't you print off a copy and we'll give it to him.
I don't know what some of these guys think that these answers are going to get them. Were you given a copy of it? A copy of this was delivered upon my person. So yes, you were given a copy. This is a statement which is correct. It's like, okay, your lordship, we get it. You read some crap on the internet before, and you think that you have to speak like you're from the 17th century. You don't. You can just say, yeah, I get it. I understand. It's simple. You're not giving away anything by saying that.
Well, it looks like Attorney Perry has put that in front of Mr. Brooks, along with the court is providing another copy. Mr. Brooks, can you acknowledge for me that you have a written copy of the motion to withdraw now in front of you?
Yeah, this is a motion to withdraw.
Are you able to read that on your own, sir?
Yes.
Have you read it?
As of now, I have read it.
Do you understand what's in that motion?
Yes, I'm aware of what's in the motion, yes.
Is there anything about that motion you do not understand?
I'm aware of it.
My question is, do you understand?
I'm aware.
Do you understand what it says, sir?
Now, just for those of you who are kind of new to this kind of thing and might not know why he's not willing to say that he understands, some people who are involved in the sovereign citizen thing think that to say the term I understand means to say that I stand under you and that you have authority over me. Of course, it doesn't mean that because it's just general parlance. It's an indication that something that somebody has said is something that makes sense to you and that you have full knowledge and understanding of.
It's clear to me what it says.
All right. So let me start off again by asking you, do you wish to represent yourself in this case?
Yes, I do.
Before, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would like to represent myself pro per.
What does that mean to you, sir? Explain to me that request.
Again, because I've already said it on record, to represent myself as a sovereign citizen.
I'm not going to make a determination, sir, whether you're a sovereign citizen or not. It's not relevant to my determination how you characterize who you are, other than you are accused of 77 counts, which I will go through momentarily, and you have the right to have an attorney represent you. That's your constitutional right. You have two very capable attorneys that have been with you from the beginning. You understand that, right?
No, I do not understand that.
What don't you understand about that, sir?
I don't understand why is a reference being made to the capableness of my attorneys. Now, I agree that they have worked tirelessly on a lot of the things in this case. And I credit them with that. I'm appreciative of that. But it also should be said that there's a lot of things that I did not understand about the proceedings in a lot of the court cases. There were things that I didn't understand why there wasn't certain motions filed. There were a lot of things that I did not understand the totality of the meaning behind. And that is what kind of led to a lot of issues, but these were issues that were being raised for a number of months. This was not just something that sprung up out of the blue. And I feel that as my attorneys, that it would be essentially their job to make me aware of things that I do not understand. So that's where a lot of the questions come into question as you.
So it's very obvious that you have an incredibly limited understanding of how all of this kind of thing works. So obviously, it goes without saying that the best way to proceed is to fire the two incredibly experienced lawyers that the taxpayer is paying to be there. The people who, actually know what they're doing.
So let me follow that up, sir. If I allow them to withdraw, you lose their legal experience, their specialized training, right? Their education, their work as attorneys. Do you understand that?
No, I do not understand.
So if you are allowed to represent yourself in this case, sir, you will not have attorneys assisting you. If I let them withdraw, they're gone from this case. Do you understand that?
I think I will probably be better served representing myself.
And I think that that is probably one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard. Now we'll go on to another clip towards the end of this hearing where the judges just completely had enough of this guy.
I'm going to give you a filing that your attorneys submitted dated September 26th of 2022. And really every other filing since that time. There's a number of documents from the state, some of which you may already have. I want you to have this information because it's important for me in order to honor your request to represent yourself, that you have understandings. And I think this documentation will help. I'll hand it to my clerk, they'll give it to the bailiff, they'll give it to you. Nope, I'm talking, sir. Nope, listen, Mr. Brooks, we are done here today. Okay, I cannot make a finding at this point that you have an understanding of what you're charged with, the nature of these proceedings. I am not going to get into a debate about whether you're a sovereign citizen or not, or even whether you have any understanding of how the state is a plaintiff in this case. My sole reason for being here today is your motion through your attorneys to consider your request to represent yourself. You have demonstrated through this hearing that you don't have a basic understanding of some of the things that are going on. So I'm going to give you time to consider this request. Talk with your attorneys more because they still represent you. They have not been discharged in this case. And if you decide that you want to represent yourself, then that form, that waiver of attorney form, needs to be filed by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then your attorneys can make a request of my clerk, and I will schedule this for sometime tomorrow. If that does not happen, they remain your attorneys. But at this point, sir, I cannot grant the request because I cannot make a finding that you understand what's going on. But that has been done because of frankly, the word game that you are employing with me. You can roll your eyes all you want, sir.
I mean, because it's.
So I'm done. If need be, we will come back tomorrow.
It should be noted.
But at this point, the court's in recess. Thank you, sir. We're adjourned.
Yeah, whatever.
So there we have it so far. Now, as much as I would love if the judge just said, you want to represent yourself? Fine. Go pro se, pro per, pro golf. I don't care. Because frankly, I don't want to see any more money wasted on this guy. But the reality is, if he doesn't have representation, chances are that he's probably going to be able to get it reversed and go back for another trial and waste even more taxpayers' money. So the judge was doing the right thing here, doing her due diligence, making sure that the guy is dealt with it appropriately at this point. But needless to say, I'll be keeping an eye on all of this and be keeping you up to date with everything that happens. Anyway, folks, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure and hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. There's now some Irish Demon merch available in the merch store that's only available for another couple of days. Here's a quick ad for that, and we'll catch you in the next one. Sláinte. Consider grabbing yourself some of this awesome Irish Demon merch in the merch store down below. I also do custom versions, so if you would like anything custom written on your shirt, just drop me an email and I'll sort that out for you.